Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode. I'm your host, Brent Gill, and we have a fantastic show for you tonight. This week, we go over Utah parents that want to rename a school mascot because it sounds too much like the word penis, and a plane has to make an emergency landing after a woman discovers her husband is cheating on her. These are all the real news headlines that you may have missed in your algorithms. If you like what you're hearing, please subscribe to us on your favorite podcast app. Download us and share. If you have any good stories from your place of residency, I guess, please feel free to send that our way. That's just infomation.news@gmail.com. We have a great show for you tonight. Matt Baca is in the studio. Please give him some noise when he comes in. This is Infomation. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, and that's my 10 seconds. That's all we get, I think, for free, because I heard that from one person one time. So I'm just kind of going with it so I don't get sued. In studio today, we got Matt Baca. Matt, how are you, dude?
Doing well. That was like my fake audience roar.
The huge roar.
Oh, fuck, he's so hot. Oh, shit, it's Baca. I'm
Baca's
good, man.
back again. Good to see you. This is your first time on the show, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it, man.
Never done the live show either, right?
I never have, but I've seen it online.
Cool.
Really cool stuff.
It's a fun thing.
Yeah.
We got to get you on that. I'm still trying to find a good home for this live show here in California.
Yeah,
so
man. Well, let me know.
There's a billion different places to do this, which is crazy. But Matt and I, obviously, maybe not obviously, know each other from Colorado way back in the day.
Yeah.
I've been doing comedy together for a very long time. And you moved out here permanently, how long ago?
Maybe like 3 years ago,
Yeah.
but I was going back and forth.
A lot.
And then I was doing stuff with my day job, because you always need a day job when
Of course.
acting, comedy, whatever. But I didn't get the clients. It was training and development, and I still teach in Boulder, so I still go back in the summers, but everything else I got more work out here, and now I teach at UC Irvine, which is the most white square place in the world. I mean, it's
more than Boulder.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's Irvine's part of Orange County, right? And it's essentially where everyone, their dreams all die. But it surrounds Disneyland, where you have dreams. It's like the Upside Down and Stranger Things. You know what I mean? So, but I love it. It's a great school, and I do the same programs that I do in Boulder. So
dope. So you really don't have to do much work.
No, I mean, you got to keep everybody moving. All the
true.
Chinese kids in their early 20s.
So what do you teach specifically?
So it's like a business prep program for all the international students. So it gets them ready for their MBA program or MS in accounting. Mostly Chinese will do the 1 year accounting, finance programs, because they're right out of their undergrad. And it's just a value add for them. It's in and out. They get it.
Wait, 1 year and they get two specialties?
No, 1 year they get a master's in finance or a master's in accounting.
Oh, shit.
And then I also teach in the MBA program, which is 2 years. And that gets a lot more variety globally.
Wow.
But if you talk to most MS programs with business schools, it's mostly Chinese and Indian students. They usually see the value out
Are you a
that.
Doctor?
No, I have a master's.
Wow.
So when people say, "Oh, I'm a professor," I'm always like, like I don't say I'm a professor. I say I'm a lecturer, which is like one step down. It's like Donald Sutherland in what movie was that where he was like the professor? I can't remember. He was like a lecturer, but
was it called The Professor? Because that would be great if that was the name of it.
He had the corduroy jacket as well. No, it was Animal House. He was a professor in Animal House.
Yeah, gotcha.
And he was just always smoking weed and everything, which I don't do anymore because it's I get too paranoid.
Really?
Yeah. I try to check sativa. I mean, you'd know more.
Sure. I know all about it.
So anyway,
a lot of our episodes are fueled by marijuana.
I see. Yeah, I would just get really in my head, and I'd be like, it just becomes the cliche.
That would be the worst episode ever. Like, Matt, focus.
It's like it would be like the most cliche things. Like maybe people are really owned by their dogs. They're the ownership, and it's really not good. It's not even entertaining. It's more flat.
Really?
So, yeah. Exactly.
And you so you get to spend half of your so you get to spend the summer in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Which is the dopest time to be in Boulder.
Oh man, it's great. Because I was never into the whole winter sports thing. I don't ski, I don't snowboard. So when I lived in Colorado, people were like, they're almost like you peed on the Virgin Mary or something. Well, what are you doing here? Like, if you don't even like mountain sports,
what are you wasting our resources?
Yeah. Why, get out of your loft in Denver, jackass. Like, make way for another trust funder, you bastard. But yeah, so it is nice to go back there in the summer, and it's excellent. Sometimes I'll drive. Sometimes I'll just. I've been summers where I don't even take transportation. I mean, I do the bus or Uber or whatever, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to get around up there.
Yeah, I love it.
And it's like literally when all the kids leave, that's like the best time to be up there because it's beautiful. All the people are gone, and it's just the people that live in fucking Boulder, which is
it's super cool.
dope.
The roads are pretty okay, and you don't have a bunch of punk kids running around.
You don't have a bunch of drivers from California,
right? Or Texas,
or New York.
I mean, let's face it. Like, Boulder's a colony of LA.
Of course,
you know what I mean?
Of course.
It was like founded by Los Angelinos. But I mean, it's great. It's great to go back and, of course, see everybody from Denver, and But it's you've been out here how long?
In Los Angeles, not much since beginning of October. So about almost 2 months now.
So once you make that, you're committed here, and you go back to Colorado occasionally, but it's just weird because there's no seasons here, so time blurs together, and you're just like another year, and it's
is that
really
how dreams
trippy.
Get lost?
Pretty much.
Because everyone just like, no, I mean, like, I'm still doing it.
I'm still doing it.
You're 10 years in.
Yeah, and I wonder what the time is where it's like, if you say, I've only been in LA 4 years, I haven't booked anything of note, you know what I mean? Or if it's like, if you can get away with that, even 6 years, 7 years, but if there's like a
cutoff point. You hit that decade point where you have nothing.
I've been here since Clinton left office. That's not bad. I mean, I was 99. Oh, shit. No. So I always wonder about that, because you meet people who you don't think they've been here very long, and then you talk to them and like, yeah, I've been here like 17 years.
Yeah.
Like,
what the fuck?
Yeah. And because I feel like, I don't know, maybe sometimes in Denver you get more people that are, because you have the comedy scene, there's not a lot of acting going on,
sure,
improv, but people will kind of be like, oh, I'm doing this and this and this. And out here, people are really unassuming. Like, I did a Toyota commercial a couple months ago, and there was a Hispanic guy on the show on the commercial, and he was working the diner. And we got to talking, and I said, how long have you been in LA? He's like, I've been here like 30 years. Wow. And it used to be when you actually had good royalties from like TV shows, because now all that's being cut because of Netflix and Hulu.
Online stuff, right.
Right, and ads. You don't get a lot of that because they're cutting a lot of the, you don't have like, you don't have the major network showing it, and you get those residuals and stuff. I said, well, did you do anything like other movies? He said, yeah, and he listed off all these movies he was in, and he told me he was in. Did you ever see Bowfinger with Steve Martin?
Yeah.
So you remember where the Hispanics are like, he gets those guys off the street, and then they become like the boom guy, and they become like, they use like that aluminum foil sign that says "We'll work for food," and it becomes like the
light reflector.
Yeah. That he said that was his idea, and he pitched it to Frank Oz, or the director. He said he was like, well, what can we do for the scene? He said, why don't we have like, I'm holding a sign that says "We'll work for food," and it converts into this thing, and Frank Oz used the idea, so it's like you just meet. I mean, that was just from talking to people, but a lot of times people they're so busy out here. But once you get to know people and you see, oh, someone's been in the business for like 30 years and stuff they've seen. And I love that movie and I love that scene. Yeah. And that was his idea.
Interesting.
And I met the guy. So.
And it's weird too, because there's so many people, like no one wants to talk to each other out here. But when you finally get that opportunity to, everyone seems to be super interesting. Yeah. Because I feel like you wouldn't have ended up here if you weren't super interesting. Right,
that you had some levels. It's a lot like, honestly, like Boulder, because Boulder, I mean, you definitely have the university, but when you talk to like, professionals or young adults or whatever they might seem, they're a certain way, and you start talking to people and they're just fascinating. Maybe because they've all moved to LA, I don't know. But you find a high concentration of really creative people that if you take the time to get to know them, you're like, oh my gosh, like this person did this, and that's what I find all the time in LA, is just trying to connect with people and hear their story and just like, whoa, that's trip. Like that guy on the commercial, like he was totally chill, and he was just like, just telling me all the stuff that he had done. I was like, that's a longevity. Now, hopefully it won't be like in 30 years. I'm like, did I book anything in 30 years? Like I'm on my deathbed. I guess LA was a poor choice. Oh,
fuck.
Didn't quite get that agent. Oh, well.
Oh, man. So, it is a mind trip out here, but it's pretty, that whole opportunity thing, it's intoxicating. Oh, yeah. It's that gamble. Yeah. Like I understand why people have these gambling addictions now, because now you're just gambling on yourself. Really, like I can do this. It's the next pull. Yeah. It's the next pull. It's
gambling on your career. I mean, it truly is. Like you'll take certain jobs, and whether it's in stand up or whether it's acting, and then you'll look back and it's okay. Built to the next. It's always kind of just one step forward, but it's. I mean, you just unless you're out here, you'll never get the opportunity. Yeah. And it's all about connecting those dots. Like you were telling me about. Submitting to certain folks and bookers and agents, managers and stuff. It's all just how can you connect those dots, and the more opportunities, the higher your percentage of being lucky. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So, whereas a lot of people would just say, I'm just going to do this one thing, which is the other thing that you see out here is everybody does everything.
Yes. It's a whole bunch of jacks of all trades.
Right. And I've talked to a lot of people that, like in film production, that they're producing or financing films, but they've also been an actor and they've developed that, and they're scared as hell because it's like you
never know when your next check's going to come.
Yeah, and you don't know that world of finance, but you as you kind of seen probably for yourself and what this town is, it's just people trying stuff out and testing you're developing your faith and then doing something that's harder and more risk.
Right.
Which when you're in a smaller town or some place that's not LA or New York, it's easy to say, I did this, which is great, but is it going to lead
to that next big thing?
It's like waiting for Guffman. It's like, I'm leading this theater program in Omaha, which is great. But the reality is like, you're right. Like people come out here to pursue their dreams and it's like balls to the wall. Yeah.
And it's a whole bunch of failure to get that little bit of success.
Yep. And you've got to be okay with that. Yeah. I mean, I talk to people about, being an actor and they're like, I could never be an actor, and being rejected. And it's like, that's part of the building the pipeline. It's sales. Like you're going to have 99 people say no and maybe one person
But that one person is hopefully enough to be the one that carries you through the next 99 that say no.
Yeah. And I'm reading that book. I read the Cliff Notes because I don't really read whole books. Even though I'm a college professor.
Talk about reading here in just a sec.
but it's The Richest Man in Babylon. I don't know if you've heard of that book, but it's just, timeless tradition written by a guy in the 1800s about Babylon and how it was so wealthy. But one of the sections is like talking about making your own luck. And people say, well, that person's lucky, but they don't see all the failure that went to do that. Whereas if they didn't have all those channels of failure, they wouldn't have gotten there.
Sure.
So they told the story of it was some promoter that wanted to do a tour with Elvis Presley when Elvis Presley was alive. And he asked Elvis Presley's manager, like, the whole year, like every day for a whole year, and it was never, persisted. And then literally like the 365th time, then the manager relinquished or whatever and gave in. And so he booked Elvis on this really popular tour. And so it was one of those things where it's just like, and I think for actors and comics, then that's just one kind of possible route. You have all these connect with this one person, and then you have these other areas too: bookers at clubs, cruise ships, getting an agent, getting a manager for acting. I mean, that's what I'm doing, is just trying to like not put my eggs in one basket.
Sure.
So and even with my clients, so I work with Irvine, but I have some other clients that I work with too. So if Irvine drives up, then I'm not screwed.
Yeah.
So,
which God knows with the state of public education these days, what might happen,
especially the UC system, because it had some challenges. Both systems, Cal State and UC.
Really?
But I'm more of a consultant. I'm not faculty, so they hire me kind of. I'm an education mercenary. I'll go wherever there's work, I'll do it. But. But that's what I think.
You're an education whore. If there's money,
it's actually on my business card. I mean, it kind of turns some people off in academia, but
I probably would get more work if it didn't say that on there. But the people that do hire me really seem to like me.
Consulting, but I mean, that was the thing I think coming out to LA is just seeing all the levels of possibilities. I mean, not just in the entertainment, but because I work with international students, international business, there's so much more going on internationally on the coast. So I like it. It's definitely, it never gets old, but it's, you find your low times and then you got to just keep swinging.
Keep swinging through it.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's for sure how this shit works.
Right. Without shooting up behind an alley and dying of a heroin overdose. Like so many people.
Minor details. Minor details. Well, what else do you do now? So when you're not working, what do you do? Do you ever have time?
For just relaxing and stuff? Yeah, I'll go out. I go to the beach. I'll ride my bike. I hang out with friends. I go see movies. I try to do some day trips. I have friends that live up the coast, so I try to. I mean, there's there's so much you can do just traveling around here. And then I guess that's it.
Are you into cars at all?
You mean like muscle cars?
No, just like driving quickly, like fast cars, stuff like that.
I own a Prius, so
not at all.
That's an answer to your question.
The way that you said that was so Prius owner as well. It almost sounds like you were trying to whine in a way that you were just, I own a Prius.
So that negates any kind of desire I ever have for...
Oh, that's funny.
You?
I went, so I was driving up the PCH a couple nights ago, and I was going, I was past Malibu, and I see this, like something Canyon Road, just randomly. Like I had done a circle to look at the coast and smoke some weed, and I see this Canyon Road. I was like, fuck yeah. And I took this Canyon Road all the way up the hills over from Malibu to Thousand Oaks.
Oh, wow.
And it was... intense.
Just super hilly and
super
everything.
Hilly and turns. So like a lot of like 180-degree turns, a lot of switchback. It was awesome.
Right.
And I was going so fast. And
now, what were you driving?
My Subaru Legacy GT.
Okay, so it's soup.
So all-wheel drive.
And great handling.
Man, I think their speed limit was like 25 miles an hour, and I think I was going about 50 the whole time.
Wow.
It was really cool.
Right.
It was really cool. The few times where I was like, okay, don't drive off this cliff because no one knows where you are right now.
Right. I mean, I've been up near those canyons for film shoots.
They're fun.
But I'm just like, oh no.
My Prius, oh no.
I hope I'm saving the environment by not gunning it like that guy Brent the Great.
I'm just trying to offset Brent.
Exactly. I gotta patch up the hole in the ozone layer that he burned. But.
Is this true? I don't know if this is true or not. I heard that Los Angeles was the home of one of the biggest natural gas leaks in history, and no one talked about it because it went on for so long, and it literally ruined like majority of the ozone above Los Angeles.
Huh?
Have you heard that?
I have not, but I have a tangential story.
I'd like to hear that.
So I was doing a consulting project up in NorCal, San Bruno. It's for, what is it? I always get the name, PG&E gas, gas. So that was for those guys. And so we were doing training, just developing training systems to help train mappers that would go in and replace gas lines, like natural gas lines, which may be kind of part of your bigger story. Because what happened is in like 2004 in Walnut Creek, they were doing a dig, and they hit a pipe, and it was older pipe because they hadn't replaced the pipes since the 40s and 50s because they didn't have good mapping systems, which is why they needed to redo it. And I hadn't heard about it till I worked there, but I did a bunch of research and stuff, but it blew up. It was like a huge, literally, it was like a huge natural gas fire. And it blew up part of a school, and they had like kids running out like on fire and stuff.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So it was just like, So, I mean, if you Google like Walnut Creek, you'll find I don't know if you'll find those pictures, but the people I talked to that were with PGE, because that's who it was. They were in charge of it, but they never, on their maps, you have these little pencils and how the mappers, I mean, there's a whole system that they developed because they just didn't keep track of how old, or maybe they did, but I don't know. But that pipe was like from the 50s. And so it was like already corroded and decayed, and so when they hit, like they dug or whatever, and they weren't key on where it was exactly.
God,
on the quadrant.
man, there's a real tough rock down here. Let's keep blasting through this.
Why are these kids running out on fire? Damn it! We need a trainer, Matt Baca, who also drives a Prius in here to save the environment. So I don't know if that lends any. But it was fascinating because you learned all about that world, how there's a lot of liability. It was there, and then I think it was also in San Bruno. There was another explosion around that time.
Really?
So they had to go in and redo their whole mapping process. So, because,
everything's fucked.
Yeah.
It was in Porter Ranch in San Fernando Valley.
What year?
2014. This is a 2-year update.
Oh, okay.
Is the one I was thinking from when it was only it took them 110 days. That's what it was. It took them 110 days from when it stopped or started for them to report it.
Oh wow!
It was like
how many square miles was it? Or was it just like a couple miles of pipe, or what was it?
I'd have to look more into it.
I remember this because I was here.
Yeah.
So
I think I'd have to look more into it, but it looks like it was bad.
Pretty gnarly.
Yikes. Yeesh.
Yeah. Well,
you know what? That's why I don't want to bring kids into this world.
Right. At least keep them, in a gas-free area. Yeah, right. Like Wyoming. No, not Wyoming.
Where they're fracking. Oh, right. Man, they're going to fuck up Colorado, I bet.
Yep.
Well, speaking of I consider that the Midwest, but it's not the Midwest.
What?
Colorado and like Utah and Wyoming.
It's the West, but I don't know. It's Rocky Mountain region, and then we'll look at
because the
maps.
Midwest is
more Kansas, starting with Kansas, right?
Iowa, all the gross states. Yeah,
that's true.
Like where the meth is, it's Midwest, and where the weed is, it's Mountain West.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, would you say like a large part of Colorado still has like a
meth problem?
No, a Midwest mentality.
I feel like, yeah, especially like outside of Denver and Boulder,
right?
Like Fort Collins, Colorado Springs, Pueblo. They're very religious, and I feel like that tends to lead itself more towards that Midwestern
world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's wild. I always liked going up to Wyoming to do, what was that show?
Mingles?
Was it Mingles?
Or was it the one in Lori?
Gillette,
Wyoming. I think that was a different place.
Did a show with Ed Giovanni there like 5 years ago, and it was like it
had the big tusks on the stage, right?
No, I did that one with Gretchen Hess.
Yeah,
but this one was, maybe it was Mingles, or maybe it was some other one.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But it was like, oh, you guys are getting free beer. You get a whole beer free booze.
Shit face.
And we got free food. So Ed and I were like, all right, we met some girls, and so as we're bringing, you're holding like whatever 9 bottles in each hand. Yeah, they were like, yeah, we'll put it on the tab. And Lori said we get free booze, and the guy was like, no. And we're like, what? Like Ed and I were both like what? And the
wait, we got 9 beers with us.
Each. So 9 times 4 is 32. So he's like, no, that was a policy like when she came like a few months ago, but we're not supporting that. And we're like, oh, okay. So we just went to
spent all your money on that you just made on booze.
Much.
Yikes.
It wasn't that much, but I mean, it was definitely a lot where we got some shots and some beers, and it was like, yeah, we're gonna party. And then they're like, no, like they revoked our
and Gillette, Wyoming sucked, to be honest.
Yeah, it was
that town. They, speaking of natural gas, they had all that dried up, and then everyone had to move.
When was that?
Man,
last,
probably
4 years?
Yeah, probably. I was just supposed to say probably the past 4 years. Like the whole, it's on its way out. It's weird.
I mean, people would say, oh, you're gonna pull up, and it's just like it's a nothing town, but you're gonna find all these like $80,000 trucks pulled up there, and I was like, yeah, right. And then I got there, and I was like,
$80,000 trucks around nothing.
And it was, and then talking to people after the show, they were just really, really sharp people. Like, whatever, geophysicists and like physical engineers. And it's like,
because they all work for the gas company.
Yeah. But you just think, oh, these bunch of toothless fools, like blah, 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 and like a bunch of hicks. But
which they were there
cool.
too.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a good mix. It makes for a good product mix with marketing. No, but it was cool because I'd always talk to these guys like, well, why are you here? And they're like, oh yeah, because of the, of course, gas.
Shitloads of money.
Yeah. And you're not spending it on anything.
Yeah. Because everything's cheap as shit up there, except for their dope ass trucks.
Right.
Right.
Even their women are cheap.
Hey!
I get jumped after the show. Guys from Wyoming.
Oh, man. Well, let's hop into this show. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Let's start in Utah, where a Utah parent wants to rename a school mascot because the plural version of it sounds like the word penis. Okay? So Farmington High School is a new school that's being built right now. It's not going to open until 2018. But their mascot is the Phoenix. Right. And they had a big vote. Everyone voted on it. It was between...
No, wait, who voted?
So the students and the parents as well.
Too, or no?
No, it was voted by the children.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The children of this of the school district. And it was up against the Farmers, the Eagles, the Firebirds, the Silverback, not plural, just Silverback, Fox, and Silver Fox.
Okay, and the Phoenix.
And the Phoenix, Phoenix won. Now, apparently what happened was there's a father named Kyle Fraughton who has kids that will soon, who are not going into high school yet. They're like in elementary school, middle school. And he said that he was trying to practice some cheers for the upcoming school year. This is his report.
What he did, like a mock.
He was doing some mock-up cheers, like "Let's go Phoenix."
We're gonna do some role plays, right? Kids.
And he kept saying Phoenixes, and he said it didn't sound right. So he looked it up online what the pluralized word of phoenix is, and it's not phoenixes, it's phoenuses.
Phoenuses.
You take the X out, and it's phoenix.
Yeah, it actually comes as phoenuses. Yeah.
Phoenix.
Phoenuses.
Which he's concerned because it sounds too much like penis.
Yeah.
Which I love that was the first thing that comes to his mind is like phoenixes sounds weird. Phoenuses, because when I saw
dictionary.
Yeah.
Webster.
It's
penises.
It's very sorry, I got cables everywhere.
No
I don't know, penises, pheni, and then he looked at it. He tried to chant "Go Phoenix," and that he didn't like that either. And he said it's too close to the word penises. And he's like, I don't mean to be crass, but I don't want there to be confusion around the point I'm trying to make.
Is he from Wyoming now?
Does he I don't know why all of a sudden the Utah
fracking?
Hey man,
I got an $80,000 truck. I can't pass it on to my kids with the penises. So say, what did he say? So his revelation.
So he he tried to go. He doesn't want everything to be grammatically incorrect because he doesn't want his neighboring high schools to make fun of him, of the school, and so But
they're gonna make fun of them even more.
He's upset that the never-ending barrage of references to the male anatomy directed at our children as they participate in any kind of sports against other schools would be detrimental.
I mean, my high school was the Mayfield Trojans. And
was it really? Yeah, and you just constantly got condom jokes?
Yeah, by that school from the other side of town, the Las Cruces High School, like Bulldog. Oh, Bulldogs. And hey, Trojans, nice guys, covering up some ticks. And it's like, you'd hear that all the time when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Now, but the other thing is, I guess it's just funny that he would, I just find it bizarre that somebody goes through chants with their kid. Like, let's go through some chants.
Right.
I'd like to know what he does for a living. Like, just in terms of, like, most people, oh, that's cool. Phoenix sounds better than the Silverback, like, singular.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Go Silverback!
Go Silver. Plural, no, asshole. Singular. At least it doesn't mean penises. But I just find that, don't you find that weird that somebody would, do a mock role play with their kids?
Yeah, who's not even, they're not even in high school yet, or close.
Which is odd to me. And then I guess, so what's he trying? Is he trying to like?
So he's trying to get it to change. He has to get 3,000. He started not a GoFundMe, but that would be great. We need more money to do another test. Recall
at 0% of our goal.
he started a petition at change.org to get it changed. He has to get 3,000 people of the 7,000 person town to want to change it.
And does it say how far along he is?
Well, let's check.
I got to know details because this is, by the way, and I thought change.org was for really major political, like, hey, legalize gay marriage. Let's do, trans rights. And now what they allow this guy to put his stuff on change. Is it weird? Like I thought change.org was like a bigger.
I've never heard of change.org. But I also live under a rock, so that would make sense. And I don't like, changing things.
Okay.
I don't like progress, Matt.
And then play us out with Los Lobos. Make sure it's 10 seconds.
I don't like any sort of progress. Actually,
antichange.org.
They seem to be doing well here. So I was wrong. They need to get 5,000
of the 7,000 person town.
I believe it's. I must be wrong on the 7,000 people there, but it seems like it's a small town because it's in northern Utah, called Farmington, Utah. And they are at 3,137
out of 5,000.
Out of 5,000,
it's not bad.
That's not bad
I wonder
at all.
if they're voting dead people.
Oh man, I
John
can just see
Richter.
that
Wait a
news.
minute, that's
Yeah.
my grandfather. He
see-
died like 3 years ago. You asshole.
That news story breaks.
Well,
National news.
Live from Farmington, Utah, a rural community that is
It's shaken to its core.
shaken to its core. That's already been drilled by frackers. That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. People want to change. I mean, I think that's kind of funny. The penis.
I think it's hilarious, and I don't know if I'd really...
Penises. I mean, that's probably why the children voted. Like, the kids are just pissed. Like, hold up. We voted for this, not you adults. Go fuck yourself.
Well,
and then they're like, yep, welcome to government.
Right.
You vote, but we do whatever we want.
Well, like, case in point, UC Irvine, do you know their mascot?
No.
It's an anteater. And what they did was they allowed all the students to choose. And they said you can choose whatever, and then it came down to certain ones. They kept it on the ballot, and the students were like, yep, we want the anteater. It's like, really? You want the anteater? Yep. And then it's like, their thing is Zot. Like, that's what I guess it's the anteater does a little alien tongue, Zot. Like, I don't know. But it's the same thing where they were just like, oh, they're not gonna vote. It's kind of like banana slugs at Santa Clara University.
That's a real one, too?
Yeah, it's a banana slugs. It's UC, not the UC Santa Barbara. It's one of the UC schools.
See, that's what happens when you give children the right to vote.
Right.
You get the banana slugs.
Right. Which is kind of cool, and so is the anteaters.
The banana slug? That doesn't seem cool.
Well, it's more cool than the
fetuses? The fetuses is pretty funny.
The fetus. Wait, that's what I thought you said. Or the
North
fetuses.
High School fetuses.
They don't make a noise yet. Okay. Like they lose, we got aborted again. That sucks. Working blue tonight.
Oh man,
that's horrible.
The banana slugs and the students voted for that.
I don't know about that, but I know
students
like,
voted
UC
for the
Irvine
anteaters.
Was anteater,
dude. You know that they had to be like, dude, let's fuck this up for everybody. Yeah. Watch this. Like they had a group conspiracy. And they just
I mean, and there's not like like other. Whatever, like the bulldogs, they're all like roided out animals.
Yep.
Like, what is that? Anamorphism? They look like humans. Pecs and everything. And I've never seen like a roided out anteater. Like I've been on that campus so many times, and it looks like the anteater from BC. Remember the comic BC, Gary Hart's, with Zot, and like it gets the ant. Like anyway, if you ever have some free time, you can always Google it.
the anteater. All right, let's see.
Yeah. You see Irvine anteaters, and then you'll see it. Because there's no real way you can make like a roided out anteater. You know what I mean?
This looks like a camel with a long nose.
Yeah.
That's their mascot.
Right. And there's the Zot. That's what it does, and that's what you do your thing.
Wow. This couldn't look more like a a less threatening mascot than any other animal. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
that
looks like a badger almost. I mean, I'm not.
It's got a fluffy tail like it's a pom pom.
Right. That looks like I don't know. It looks like maybe
it looks like a alt-right squirrel.
Yeah, alt-right. Carrying a tiki torch. Awesome. Keep calm and Zada. I mean, it's cool. Like, I'll see the merchandise and everything. I kind of want a shirt, not with that, but just with UC Irvine, which is pretty cool. But it's it's wild. It's a top school, such for business, like in the top 40. The guy that started.
I wonder who actually voted. If like everyone was like, this is dumb, we're not voting, and then like just like 8 freshmen voted. Like, check this out.
Override. Oh yeah.
This is what happens when you don't vote.
Right.
More lessons.
So I don't know. I mean, it's definitely. The Phoenix things, that's a hard lesson to learn. I guess from now on, they'd have to really break it down. Any other kind of thing on the ballot, they've got to do the plural, look at it in Latin, making sure the derivatives
we don't want to deal with this again.
Right.
What would be are there any school mascots that are moose?
Probably up in Wisconsin.
Let's go moose, because it's moose.
I thought it's meese.
No, it's definitely. Oh my god!
I teach English.
Wow,
it's been revoked.
Not for long.
So it is. Wait, 1 moose, 2 moose.
Yeah, moose plural.
Moose. What about
is moose? Moose plural is moose.
Yep.
It's like.
Yeah, moose.
What's the plural form of moose? Meese? It's got a question mark there.
Oh, that was mine.
That was your question. That's people who also ask on Google.
Will my Prius go over will my Prius go over the hill after 35?
Dude, that's the top fucking 3 of 4 questions. And then one is, why is moose not meese?
I guess because goose is geese.
Right.
But I don't know if there's a mascot for geese.
We're just trying to make it as difficult as we can for folks moving to this country learning English.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We really want to fuck them over.
You got gaggle, you got a pack.
Yeah, a murder of crows.
Murder of crows.
What is that? Who comes up with this shit?
I knew that girl with the murder of crows, Melanie. She had a
murder of crows?
That was called Murder of Crows.
A murder of craw.
And I thought, that's so Edgar Allan Poe.
So what's a whole bunch of crawfish? What's a whole
crawfish?
So what's a dozen of a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts? Like a heart attack of donuts?
Oh, that's good. It's an aneurysm. Well, no, that's really your brain, but it's a diabetes of donuts. That's what it is. It's a severed foot of.
It's a severed foot of donuts.
That was good. I like that. That was a great story. I want to interview that guy. I want to talk to him.
I have called people and reached out. Like there was one lawyer that got a dude off of murder charges for his original plan of action was to go with the big penis defense. I'm not joking you. This was in what part of Florida? Not Fort Lauderdale, maybe Fort Lauderdale, Florida. But the guy said that his girlfriend choked to death while giving him a blowjob. And the lawyer for him also offered to put the guy's dick on, like, as evidence and show it to the. I'm so serious.
She died or
she did die, in 2015, and he finally got. I think he got acquitted of it. Yeah.
God, he wasn't Asian.
If you look at the dude, you're like, okay, this dude looks like he's guilty.
Excuse me while I whip this out. Not guilty.
It's for evidence. It's Exhibit A, B, and C.
That's bizarre.
Yeah. So there's some weird.
And you talked to that lawyer.
So I called the lawyer.
Oh yeah.
Sorry to get back on topic. I called the lawyer and left a message, and he wouldn't call me back. So,
where'd he live?
He lives in Florida.
Oh, he's in Florida.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Like go out there on a road trip, do a bunch of shows, and then stalk him, and then shove your mic in his face and be like, "Hi, this is
with information.
We'd like to know why have you stopped." He's all, "I'll have you slapped with an injunction." Yeah,
I googled him. He's got like 28. He's got a perfect 5-star review on Google. Not even one blemish. 28, 30 5-star reviews
of lawyering.
Of lawyering.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder if they were all guys with their well endowed. It's like
the most recent one was him. Was that defendant?
And was that fairly high profile? I mean, it sounds like if you.
I don't think it was that high profile. I mean, it didn't make national news. It just made Florida news.
Yeah.
But I found it in Colorado.
Interesting.
Yeah. Although my algorithms are so fucked up on my
Why?
Facebook. Well, because all I look at is weird news,
yeah,
and
so
so I
it's
just.
like,
Oh, you like that?
wherever.
You're probably gonna like this. Yeah.
If you like well endowed man gets acquitted, you will like.
One of my favorite ones I saw recently was that a tuba player trolled a KKK rally, and he just walked with them playing bump 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 bump, and then he went into like the Star Wars. They all on like a tuba, and they were getting so fucking.
Well, I
mad
was gonna
at him.
say like what I mean.
They were getting real mad.
Gotten his ass kicked.
The video showed he did not.
You know, because here's the thing that I always say: like, there's a guy. He's always has these great stories like risk and all like risk games. Like you drove around the hills and and this guy the tuba, and I just feel like it'd be like, yeah, Matt played tuba with the KKK and then he was killed, and that's the end of the story. Oh yeah, Matt gunned his Prius and he died like Sam Kinison. It's like I would not have the fun of like whatever playing like. You know, a full set of Star Wars theme song before I got my ass pummeled. You know, what I mean? But some people they got the guts, they got the cojones to do it. You know, or to drive around their Subaru just at 50 around like that canyon.
It was super fun.
Coldwater Canyon.
No, I have a picture of the map because I wanted to show people because it was intense. There's a few times where I made the turn. I was like, oh, this is still turning. This is still turning.
Good.
Oh fuck. Yeah.
I'm auditioning for this game show Friday, and it's hosted by David Allen Greer, and it's all about it's misdirection. Like you have to be like, you know, what people assume about you, and then the reality. And so part of the application is like, what have you done that's crazy? And you know, I've done some, but I need to that'd be cool, like pilot episode of a TV show. Like a guy needs a bunch of awesome experiences in reality, and then he hires people to take him to do some crazy stuff. Not hang gliding, but something like that, where it's like, I'll smoke some weed while I get in my head and I go around the curves.
Super fast.
Yeah.
I murdered a prostitute in Tijuana at one time.
What? Los Lobos record.
I didn't actually, but that would be a fun thing to be like, true or false?
Right. And they're just like, they all look at each other, true.
You're like, I can see that.
That's funny.
It was Tijuana.
I murdered her with my adequate size junk.
Oh, man. Well, speaking of junk, let's move on to the next story here, and our final story of the show. This one is hilarious. A plane was flying from Qatar to Indonesia to land in Bali and had to make an emergency landing after a wife discovers her husband was cheating on her. Now, I read that the correct way because the headline says plane makes emergency landing after wife discovers husband is cheating on her mid-flight. Which makes me think, whoa, was this dude fucking a chick on the airplane?
That's exactly why I read
it. And I was pumped, which is, I mean, why I clicked it. It's still a good story, but how cool would that be if that dude just had game so much that he just goes up to the fucking flight attendant and was like, hey, what's going on? She's like, oh, fine. Like, I was
just acquitted from a murder case in Florida. Really?
You may have heard of me.
Tell me more.
You may have heard of my
Carries
number.
The newspaper clipping with him.
Would you like to see evidence?
Evidence A, B, and C.
Exhibit A through C. So apparently what happened was...
But real quick, that's a misnomer on this because I was reading it. It'd be better if plane makes emergency landing after wife discovers, on her mid-flight that her husband has cheated on her. Right. But you're right. I think it's just clickbait.
And it worked.
Now you have a virus. Now you have malware.
They get the actual story, and there's a whole department in the like a writer's room of like, all right, how can we spin this better?
That's good. That's really funny. They're all going through it like all the grammatical concepts. No, you fool! Like this will. Yeah.
That's gonna make him think the actual outcome, which is not fun. Let's look at this one.
That's an antecedent. So that would go in there, just breaking it up, diagramming sentences for clickbait.
Oh God. Well, apparently, this woman and her husband were sitting on the plane as they were flying, and he was asleep. So she used her husband's finger while he was asleep to unlock her phone, and found out about the infidelity. What kind of positive relationship are you in? Where you're like, no, fuck this guy. I know he's cheating on me, and you're just waiting for a moment when he's asleep. And just hand out.
Just every moment, like you're looking, like, hi, did you like crumble some like sedatives into his drink? You know, oh, it's a long transcontinental flight.
You should probably take this. And he's just knocked the fuck out. I knew it. So apparently she found this, went through his text, saw pictures, all that stuff, and lost her mind mid-flight. Started getting a fight. Apparently,
with him, she woke him up.
Yes, with him.
Got him some of the that thing that you put in ammonia
the smelling salts.
Yeah, wake up! I got to reverse.
All right,
all the
change
drugs.
this. God damn it! I knocked him out. Now I got to wake his ass up.
I got to unknock him out.
And he's just confused. Like, wait, what? I'm cheating on you.
Wait. So did she start hitting him and everything?
So yep. So she was drinking as well. Hopefully, I kind of wonder if she started to drink after she found this out and then decided to wake him up later, or if she had been drinking the whole time and then I was like, you know what? I got a good idea. Larry, let me see your phone. And she's just shit faced and fucking. That probably wouldn't be the one though. But
that is interesting when that would have happened. Like, how much had she drank before that happened? And was it premeditated?
And why did she wait till the goddamn airplane to...
Yeah, that is... And the other thing is you got to think about, like, as an actor, if you're playing this role, like, what happened in the moment before? Like, what was the ride like to the airport? You know what I mean? Was there already, like suspicion there? Could she smell the pussy on him? It was just already the seeds of mistrust had been sown. Because you're right. Like, why would you do it on a freaking plane?
Well, yeah.
I mean, especially from where? From Qatar to Bali? What is that? That's Qatar's in Middle East, so Bali's what in Indonesia, Southeast Asia, right? So it was probably what, a 9-hour flight?
Probably.
So it's a 9-hour flight.
But she was really sitting on that because they stopped in India. So it's probably halfway.
So it's India. Wait, where were they they stopped.
They started in Qatar and they ended up having to stop in India.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Although India is a giant fucking country, so that's not very specific.
True.
But yeah, she she was pissed, and the entire family was removed because there were kids with him as well. Kind of makes it a little more shitty. Their kids were with him.
It turns out it's Dr. Phil. Like, totally against everything. Do you know that I was phone raped?
She had knocked me out, okay? It was not fair. I do a good job of hiding my infidelity.
Because I burned off my fingertips. It's like,
Oprah did it for me because she wanted to protect me. Like the Men in Black shit.
God, that is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's a lot to be unpacked here.
There is. I wish there was more information on what she discovered. If it was, if she saw pictures or text messages or emails or what, or if she had suspected it, beforehand. But I think it's more fun to imagine that he was fucking mid-flight.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely.
I'm gonna go to the first class bathroom. I'll be back. I'm going to go. I have to poop.
I just really got to stretch my legs.
I have to poop. Yeah. Just stay here for at least 3 to 8 minutes.
And he gives her like the knockout, like, yeah, just sleep here. Dad.
What is the protocol of getting in 2 people into a bathroom?
I hear that all the time. Mile High Club, and I don't know the logistics on. I had somebody describe it, how he did it, and it's just like, that doesn't sound
fun,
pleasurable at all. I mean, plus... I mean, I think about like, what is it, Airplane or Airplane 2, where the guy's like shaving and they're doing that horrible landing. Cuts himself. I mean, you can
fuck some shit up. Yeah.
So, and then.
Well, you'd have to be mid-flight though, because they wouldn't let you be in the bathroom. Because all those people, because the flight attendants would be back there by the bathrooms.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I remember I got food poisoning in Tokyo, Japan. And
I thought you were going to say Tokyo Joe's in Japan.
I was really living it up. Those $5. I really like to eat right. And then I went to the Arby's in Japan, and their meats are so fresh.
They've got the meats.
They're the ones. But I remember I got really sick like the next day after we went out with my students. Maybe they poisoned me because they didn't like my grades I gave them. No, but I got really sick, and then a day or two later, I was flying out back to the States. Yeah. And I was still like, it was coming out on both ends. And I was like using the bathroom every 5 seconds. And it was like, it was nice because I was flying from Japan back to the States.
So you had a lot of time.
Well, and the Japanese are so polite. They're just like, Americans are like, hey, get out of there. What are you doing in there? And the Japanese are like, Toko desu, toko desu. I'm like, sorry, sumimasen, I have poo-poo. Baka's poo-poo.
That's what you said? I wish you said that.
Sorry, occupied. Yeah, I'm not going to be like, poo-poo. I mean, what is a 4-year-old in here? But anyway, I just feel like, extrapolate it out. Maybe other people could do it. I would have probably a horrible experience as a Mile High person. I mean, something would. I'm already. I don't like breaking rules, and I get already skittish.
Yeah.
I could never be in The Departed. Play the role of Leonardo DiCaprio that break my arm. I'm a cop.
I had sex in a bathroom a couple times, and
on a plane.
No, in like a bathroom at a bar.
Oh.
I'll clarify. At the time, it was my girlfriend, so it wasn't just some random hoe. Because that's when you catch diseases.
It was a bathroom at a Tokyo Joe's in Tokyo.
But I fucking hated it because it was the women's bathroom. She pulled me in there, and women were coming in and out of there.
Oh, but you were in a stall.
And we were in a stall, but there's 2 feet there. There's 2 sets of feet.
Yeah.
And I was just like, let's just finish this. Like, let's get this done quickly because this is very uncomfortable for me.
That's weird.
She was way into it. And I was like, this is just odd.
So she likes kind of.
I guess
she did. Like
an
exhibition.
I guess. But
well,
only way I could see doing it in a bathroom, like legitimately, I feel like you'd have to do either doggy style, like in an airport like an airplane bathroom. Airplane bathroom. You have to do it doggy style. Well, if you're gonna do it in a public bathroom, then you should do doggy style with her knees on the bathroom, so you just see one set of shoes.
Right.
Probably doesn't help that it's men's shoes in a women's bathroom, but
technicalities.
And you're facing the bathroom, like you're not supposed to pee in these. You're just supposed to. All right, or
you should have a PowerPoint chart of this. No.
Here's some graphs I've made about how it's best practices when humping in public. But in an airplane, I feel like it's so skinny, and I'm a big dude already, so I can barely fit into those things anyway. But I would think you'd either have to do it doggy style, or you'd have to put all the seats down, and you sit down, and she sits, and it's like a stack.
See, and and then the other thing is, I don't know how you let's say you finish, and then what if one person comes out, and then someone's like, I want to go in.
Like, oh no, it's still occupied.
It's like, wait,
that's a weird situation, right?
I mean, that's just embarrassing. And then I know I'd get stuck with a narc. They'd be like, they'd narc me out and report me to the FCC.
What would happen?
FAA.
What would happen?
They could, I mean...
Because how would they know if you're fucking or not? Other than the sweet smell of love.
I mean, I don't know. They probably have ways. They could probably test your, find your dilation
Look
of your
at
pupil.
your eyeballs and like, nope, you've been fucking. Damn it. How did you know? Open your mouth.
You're giving yourself away. You have some easy tells. Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Not
know.
your thing.
Nah, it just doesn't. I don't know.
You ever had sex in a public place like a car or like a carnival? I don't know why that was my second one.
Have you? I mean, we know bathroom.
I mean, car for sure.
Against your will.
Lost my virginity in my car. Actually, the first few times I humped was in the back of my car.
Humped, huh?
Yeah, I call it humping for sure. I love saying humping.
Oh yeah, were you humping her?
Yeah,
funny.
Back in my car a few times. Bathroom a couple times. In a in a I don't know if it was a park. It wasn't really a park. It was like this sculpture area downtown Denver.
It's a Robert Mapplethorpe exhibition.
But I get afraid of getting caught and then having to get on like the sex offender list for just fucking in public. Dude, you can get on the sex offender list for peeing in public. And that scares me.
That scares me too.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, hey, no one can see us if we were in like a airplane bathroom. No one could technically see you.
But could it be if you were convicted somehow? Could they make it stick?
Could they say it's a lewd act?
You had sex in the public. I mean, that's what you did.
Yeah. Because then I'd be like, then I'd call that lawyer from Florida. I'd be like, well, actually, it was behind closed doors.
It was 4 walls. It was like a domicile.
My client is innocent. Yes, he was getting his freak on. He was getting his hump on. He's having a good sesh.
Oh, over the Grand Canyon.
Who wouldn't? Have you seen that canyon? It looks like a giant vagina. I'm like, all right, this is dismissed.
I rest my case.
Oh, man.
That's awesome.
Well, Baca, thanks for coming in and doing the show, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad we got to really get to the bottom of how to hump in public places.
Yeah, absolutely. And using the archaic term humping, too. I'm glad to know one of my contemporaries is using that term.
Every time I say that, my lady friend's like, "You stop. You got to stop
saying
that."
Humping?
I'm like, hey, you want to come over and hump? She's like, no.
You'll ask a girl that? Hey, do you want to come over and hump?
If like an established girl, not just someone like on the first time.
Right,
because I feel like if you say hump on the first time, they're like, ooh, are you 12? What is wrong with you? I'm like, no.
But then once established,
then it's like, all right, this guy's an idiot. He just likes saying dumb stuff.
That's funny, dude.
I be humping. Ba 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 ba. Hump on it. Hump on it.
Sir Humple.
Matt, how can our fans follow you and find out more about you?
You can find scheduled shows I'm doing mattbaca.com. You can find me on Facebook. It's just Matt Baca, and there's a picture of me.
Baca.
Baca, yeah, like Chewbacca except one C, because I'm not an Italian Wookiee.
That's right.
Hispanic Wookiee.
That's
right. And then Instagram, actor Matt Baca, Twitter, Matt Baca as well. So I'm everywhere.
Dope.
So, yeah, cool. Hope to do the show again sometime.
Absolutely.
I really had a great time.
Love to have you back on the show. It's fun to do these weird stories because some of these, you gotta share these with the world.
Oh yeah. I like both of those.
I'm surprised. I've been getting a lot more from California. I wonder if my algorithms are changing geo-based because I used to get a lot more from Florida, but now that I'm so far away from it,
well, now that's where all the action's happening.
Florida's the best.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean California.
California is awesome, but Florida's the best for news.
For weird,
there's a lot of weird news in Florida.
There's a lot of weirdos there.
I've been told that it's because they can release news differently. So, like, the way that the police can release news to the press is different. They have different regulations than what they have for the rest of the country, and that's why a lot of weird stories come out. Okay,
because there's almost no regulations out there.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it's like, well, you got to check.
You have all the regulations and stickers that says this is going to cause cancer.
Yeah.
Like, my favorite ones are the ones,
right?
Well, there's those, the ones on new cars here. Or like rental cars says that the parts that make up this, something along the lines of the parts that make up this car are known to cause cancer. I'm like, yeah, like the oil or like the lead in the paint or like, yeah, I know it's a car. Of course it's going to cause cancer. The emissions, all the things that go into a car, I'm pretty sure are cancerous.
Yeah, but maybe how soon? Maybe they should do a timeline on that.
Instead, they're like, nah, everything. So everything has that.
The steering wheel, unless you're wearing gloves, it's made of full-on lead from
and asbestos.
Guangzhou,
it's lead
China.
and asbestos.
Expect some lumps in a couple of years.
Oh man, yeah, those aren't warts. That's cancer on your fingers. Just a heads
need
up.
to get checked.
Yeah. Well, on that sad note,
well,
fuck.
Zod on, Irvine.
Oh man. Well, Matt, thank you for stopping in. Check him out, Matt Baca, Baca. This was Information. Tune in every Tuesday. We release new episodes. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and like and comment, and send us your stories if you have them. We'll see you next week, everybody. Good night.